This video is brought to you by GameFly. Tired of spending $60 for every new release? GameFly lets you rent games shipped straight to you with no deadlines and no late fees. Click the link down below to start your 30-day free trial. As Sony is preparing a big press conference, likely revealing the new PlayStation 4, currently dubbed the PlayStation 4 Neo, on September 7th, in this video we'll be taking a look at 5 things gamers are dying to see revealed in this press conference. These range from things about the console and some other announcements that we might see. With that being said, let's get right into this. Number 1. Console design. If Sony is holding a conference that will likely revolve around the PlayStation 4 Neo, chances are we will see the console itself. And chances are it'll look different than the current model. PlayStation models in the past have seen multiple designs, most prominently the PlayStation 2 Slim and the PS3 Slim. There was also that PS3 that kind of looked like a grill. Yeah, we don't like to remember that. Most are pretty happy with the current design of the PS4, but keep in mind that the PS4 Neo is expected to have different specs than the original, and that means it may need a far different chassis to contain all the different hardware. Number 2. Price. This is the one area about the PlayStation Neo that has been kept under secrecy. On one hand, the PS4 Neo is said to be a pretty substantial performance upgrade over the original model, but that kind of improvement is gonna cost a pretty penny. Sony has learned a lot about pricing their consoles properly with the release of the PlayStation 3, but at the same time, it is expected that the regular PS4 and the PS4 Neo will coexist on the same market. That means they have a lot more flexibility with the pricing of the PS4 Neo, since at the end of the day, if people want a cheaper option, they can just pick up the older model. The problem with the PS3 was that the cheapest model available at launch was $500, and a price like that just won't fly for a portion of the audience. However, for those people, the regular PS4 will still exist, but for the other side that are looking for the best console possible, a price like $499 or even $599 may not be as ludicrous as some believe it to be.
3 will retail for $499 US dollars and 549 Canadian dollars. And the 60 gigabyte PlayStation 3 for $599 US dollars, $659 Canadian.
Number 3. Performance. So we've been talking about the PS4 Neo's exact performance for a while now, and with this conference should come a lot more clarity on just how powerful the console will be. Some have gone as far as to say that the PlayStation 4 Neo will be able to run games at 4K Ultra HD, which seems very unlikely considering the fact that top-of-the-line PCs, costing upwards of $1,500, have a very hard time running games at 4K. And yes, I did say that Sony is going to have a bit more flexibility with the pricing of the PS4 Neo, but even then you'd be crazy to think the console would cost more than $1,000. A more realistic expectation with the PS4 Neo would be running newer games at 1080p and 60 frames per second. Maybe there will be an option for 4K video playback, but 4K gaming seems very unlikely. At 1080p and 60 frames per second, that seems like a plausible goal that can be achieved at a reasonable price point. It'll also be interesting to see if Sony announces anything about the PlayStation 4 Neo retroactively working with previous titles. Original speculation thought it to be up to the specific developers and publishers, so don't be too surprised if we see a lot of the first-party titles being upgraded for the PS4 Neo. Uncharted 4 single player in 60 frames per second, count me in on that. Also, it'll be interesting to see how PlayStation VR performs on PS4 Neo versus the PS4. High-quality VR gaming experiences are very demanding, and it's still kind of surprising that the current PS4 will even be able to run VR. The PS4 Neo is probably going to give you a much better VR experience, just on the basis that it'll be far more powerful. We should also get more clarity on that during this conference.
And they come out all guns blazing on opening day. Contact. First blood to the Cobras. Crowd control looking to outflank. Here comes Kill Switch. Boom! Takedown.
Number 4. Release date. So this probably is the one most people want to know. We know that the PS4 Neo is going to be a substantial performance improvement over the current model. We know that the price is probably going to be higher, but we don't know exactly when the console will arrive to the market. It seems way too early for the console to arrive this year. That's probably not the logical decision anyway. The majority of Sony's advertising resources will be invested into promoting the PlayStation VR this fall, and releasing the Neo this year would probably be too much. Neo coming sometime early next year around the time of Horizon Zero Dawn's release would make a lot of sense. Horizon is the type of game that will probably take advantage of the extra horsepower of the Neo, and it would be a great showcase game in presenting the difference in quality between the two consoles to the public. We should get an official release date, or at the very least a release window announcement at the conference. Number 5. New games. Okay, so in this video all I've been mentioning is the console itself, but it's highly unlikely that Sony does a big press conference without revealing at least a few new games or showing off more gameplay of some of the most anticipated games. As I mentioned, Horizon Horizon Zero Dawn might be one of the premier games for PS Neo, so we could see more footage of that. There are rumors going around that Rockstar will be at the conference, and we've been waiting on an announcement for Red Dead Redemption 2 for seemingly forever. Could we finally see it at this conference? Hopefully. It may be too early for Naughty Dog to officially reveal their next project, but a teaser trailer for The Last of Us 2 is always possible. Just keep in mind, this conference, while it'll be mainly focused on the PlayStation Neo, you can't reveal a console without showing off games. Games are, in fact, the driving force behind a console's success. So that wraps up 5 things gamers are dying to know at the PlayStation Neo conference. What do you think? Is there something else you're looking forward to being revealed? Let us know in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.